Thank you all for being here with us tonight. Thank you to all the candidates for attending.
So this question is for everyone. It appears that citizens are less and less engaged in their local government. Events like tonight's forum and even city council meetings are seeing low turnouts from members of the public. As a public official, how would you energize the citizens to be more engaged?
Hi, I'm Chioma Griffin, Ward 1 candidate for Petersburg. And I have two different things that I want to do: reestablish and engage Petersburg. And I would do that a couple of ways. One, by having town hall meetings, and two, continuing the legacy of Treska Wilson-Smith. She has candidate training. She has the various schools and things that she's been offering, and that has boosted the morale in Petersburg. And I'll also continue to connect the dots of passing on resource and information. We have a wonderful cluster project that people are excited about, our pharmaceutical cluster. We have the coming down of the Ramada Inn and various things that's going on in the city that the citizens are really excited about. So for me, I would take that opportunity to re-engage and reestablish Petersburg through those methods.
Hi, I'm Michael Moore Stores in Petersburg, running for Ward 3. Can you guys hear me? What I would want to see is more transparency. People are not showing up to the meetings because, for one, they feel they're not getting the information. Two, they're not being heard. The biggest piece I would want to convey to them is you will be heard if elected. You know, because the meetings are for the constituents, you know, to be informed. And I just want to make sure that that is expressed and that how we get them back into the town hall meetings.
All right, good evening, everyone. I am Sam Parham, running for City Council, Ward 3, current City Councilman and Mayor of the City of Petersburg. Just to, I have 50 seconds to answer a very in-depth question, but we're coming out of COVID-19 and it's important to re-engage our citizenry. And it's something that we've done besides doing Zoom meetings. We have created a state-of-the-art meet facility at the Petersburg Library that stream meetings live. We have a newsletter that we pushed, our first ever City of Petersburg newsletter that actually tells all the citizenry what's going on in the city, along with meeting times and everything. To that nature, can you hear me? Can you hear me in the back? Okay.
Yes, so at this time we have to also go out now in the campaign and restock our boards and commissions coming out of COVID, and also figure out what's important to our citizens in order to engage them in the next 4 years during the council.
So my name is Michelle Merles. I'm running for Ward 5 in Petersburg. I plan on doing the exact same things that I've been doing for the last 2 to 3 years. I will be going up and down the streets of Ward 5, which is things that I have always done since I moved to Petersburg, and we'll be talking with people. I also plan on having moving ward meetings where you will have it in different parts. Ward 5 tends to be a little larger, not as large as Ward 7, but and people have a hard time getting around sometimes. I also plan on handing out my phone number, which, by the way, is 907-310-5093. Please call or text for any reason. I will definitely have no problem with that, as well as stop by my house. My door is always open. Thank you.
I am W. Howard Myers. I'm running for Ward 5 seat in the city of Petersburg. With respect to the engagement of our citizens, I have maintained my engagement with our citizens, and some of them have become complacent with respect to not believing in what the government is providing for them. But as the mayor has said, that we have started sending out newsletters and reaching out to our constituency, and we're out knocking on doors so that we can re-engage ourselves with respect to the following of the COVID-19 epidemic. Also increasing visibility through media platforms, newsletters, and just simple neighborhood meetings. I'm very happy to be here today. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Arnold Westbrook. I'm City Council member for Ward 7. I was appointed last November, taking over for John Hart, so I would like to acknowledge that. But my ways and strategies of engaging the community is, first of all, to get back to the youth. I do know that the youth don't vote, but I really feel like they have a large portion of how their parents come out. Like, as right now, there's probably a lot of parents at the Hopewell Petersburg football game. And we could get those parents to be more engaged with their youth by starting something like a youth council. Maybe if the youth were more engaged with the city politics as they move up to government in high school, they would know how to come in and fill in these roles organically and not have to think of that you have to wait to be 40 or 50 years old. And even still focusing on the youth, they look at social media. How can we use TikTok, whereas Facebook is getting more for the elderly or the older crowd? We need to use more the newer social media platforms to engage the youth so that they can get on their parents to also be involved.
Moving on to question 2, we're asking, what are the 2 top ways that you would encourage economic development in your city?
One of the top ways to improve or to encourage economic development would be to improve the infrastructure. Just like the gentleman to the right of me said, companies do not want to come to an area where they feel that it's not safe, it's not conducive for their business to be in that area. Another way would be to improve our education system. When jobs come to the area, they need to know that they have a candidate pool that is knowledgeable and educated to qualify for these particular jobs. Currently in our pool, we don't have that. So we have high-paying jobs that applicants don't qualify for, then I have the education. And so we need to do something with our educational system that will have these applicants trained and ready for when these companies come.
About economic development, the city of Petersburg is on the move, and we are the pharmaceutical mecca of the East Coast. And we're building a world-class infrastructure here in the city of Petersburg, and we just secured $30 million from the governor to improve our Poor Creek water infrastructure. And our next move is having those companies and farmer heads, engaging them into our schools. And I'm not saying high school, we start in elementary school. I've managed to get one of our pharmaceutical companies, Flow, put a playground inside one of our elementary schools that need it. We have to expose our kids earlier and get them in the pipeline to start dreaming so they can take on these high-paying jobs of the future. And we're doing that by bringing on Virginia State, Brightpoint, Richard Bland College, and VCU. They're going to be providing our kids with those certifications to work at these high-skilled jobs. And we will continue to grow workforce development, because that's the key to surviving and growing economic development in our region.
So my idea for economic development is fairly simple. We should make it very easy to be able to get a business license for a business. Unless you're opening a restaurant or something like that, it should not take weeks and months to be able to fill out all the paperwork for a business license. You should be able to go online, fill out something that takes less than an hour, put your money on a credit card, and call it good. That would make a lot of difference. I also agree with Michael and with the mayor that the education is very important as well, because the pharmaceutical companies and whatnot are coming in, but they are bringing people in from the county and from Richmond and such to fill the jobs, because our citizens are not educated to the point of being able to take those jobs. So we should be looking towards that as well.
I believe the question was 2 top ways to encourage economic development, and that is by providing marketable information with respect to our enterprise zone, historic tax credits, and all of those incentivized things that encourage developers to come to our city and to develop the areas in which provide zoning conditions that are variable to the conditions of which they are trying to build their infrastructure with respect to their business. Encouraging citizens and the school system and trying to better our school system, and I agree with everyone here in what they have stated today. Thank you.
Yes, again, Arnold Westbrook, City Council, Ward 7. My 2 top ways is, first of all, both of them involve the beautification of 7th Ward in Petersburg. The first being the enterprise zone that was recently rezoned on the Washington Street corridor, where it starts from Dominion Power, which is actually in Dinwiddie, all the way through Washington Street to 5th Ward. But with that beautification, then I feel like more businesses will come in, especially with that Dominion Power anchor being right there close to it. Businesses will want to come and be a part of that zone, as well as the Fuller Trail that's actually going to be right behind it as well. So again, the recreation is right there behind it, which is going to really bring a lot of attention to that Washington Street corridor. And then the other part is the industrial park that is right there in 7th Ward with Boar's Head expanding, industrial paper. There's a Triad metal lay yard coming right off of Squirrel Level Road. And so that exit 65 corridor, as it grows, as it beautifies, I think that the youth of the city, as everybody, will want to stay here and work these high-paying jobs that we have right here in Petersburg.
Chioma Griffin, Ward 1 candidate. There are two ways that I would consider to spur economic development in Petersburg. And one is to hold our governor accountable for the Petersburg for Partnership that he has currently presented to us. There's 42 initiatives with 60 partners, and hold him accountable for that, to bring those partners and allow them to have an opportunity to reestablish and engage in Petersburg. And the second thing, we are in Ward 1 a very unique ward, and we have had the opportunity to have 5 new corporations there. 3 of them, the pharmaceutical cluster that has been discussed tonight. And I would present to them to partner with workforce development to train the people so that they can have better jobs. So those are the two ways that I would consider. Have them trained so they can get the jobs with the different pharmaceutical companies and the new corporations we have, and then hold our governor accountable for the partnership for Petersburg.
Hi, I'm Chioma Griffin, your candidate for Petersburg City Council Ward 1. Petersburg is moving, and this eyesore behind me is coming down. Elect me and we'll keep things moving by reestablishing Petersburg and engaging you, my fellow citizens in our city. Remember, Chioma first on the ballot, next one up to serve.
I'm Chioma Griffin, and I approve this message.
The last few years have been challenging for all of us. However, we survived the struggle with great progress. I am W. Howard Myers, running for City Council. I've been your friend for many years to grow our community. Join me November 8th and vote W. Howard Myers for City Council.
We've been through tough times together, but we've come through to the other side. From the influx of the pharmaceutical industry to improvements in infrastructure, we are keeping the dream alive. Just keep believing in Petersburg. I do, and I need your support to help keep the dream moving forward. I'm Sam Parham, and I'm asking for your vote this November.
I'm Sam Parham, and I approve this message.
Okay, we get started on question number 3. What priority should ARPA, which is the American Rescue Plan Act, money be allocated to?
As I learned more about ARPA funds from being up here as well, I realized that it could be used for infrastructure, and now that I realize it can be used for emergency equipment. But in Petersburg, I see that that's something that we haven't used it for, because our prime example, our fire department, they have been struggling for equipment because the equipment we have is considered outdated. I didn't realize that 5 years for a fire truck is old, and we've been borrowing from other cities to take care of our problems. So I think that would be a paramount issue for us to utilize the funds for, at least for that, for starters.
Again, we have these ARPA funds that are in, and I'm proud to say that ARPA funds' #1 priority is for our youth. Our kids have lost over 2 years of instructional time, and they have sacrificed the most throughout the COVID-19 pandemic. And we've made a conscious effort to invest in parks and recs. We are redoing Legends Park to create more soccer fields, more basketball courts, more place for pickleball. Along with City Council, we were able to push to get a new turf field at Petersburg High School so we can run more programs at Petersburg High, including restarting our middle school football. We've already purchased equipment for our kids to get back into sports, to be more athletic. Another big thing is we're putting ARPA funds into the YMCA. And the only school in Petersburg that's accredited is Walnut Hill, and we're putting YMCA programs in every elementary school inside the city of Petersburg, and we will move the dial on education with these ARPA funds.
So, 1 year ago this month, the city of Petersburg actually set aside $520,000 to give to the citizens that could prove that they had lost money between March 1st of 2020 and July 31st of 2021. However, that money has never been spent. It is still sitting in a bank account, even though they have people who have applied for it and were approved for it. I think that we should be spending more money to be giving it out to citizens. We've done very well with giving it to the employees that had to work through COVID, but there is still money that is able to be given out to citizens.
I wrote out my response, but I have to say that the city of Petersburg is not withholding funds and not providing them to the citizens of Petersburg, in which we have. And we provided relief for our businesses and citizens struggling with the effects of COVID, providing meals, technical services, ensure the stabilization of our service, as well as providing increased educational communications to combat the spread of COVID-19, with PPE distributions and those sort of things. But with respect to the city of Petersburg, we have provided a lot of funding and care to our citizens, and providing them to help them with their water bills, with other means of need, providing transportation and all kinds of things. So money is not just sitting around in our budget waiting for someone to come and ask for it.
Again, Arnold Westbrook, City Councilman, Ward 7. I will start out with ARPA funds. First of all, overall, just the overall health of the city of Petersburg. As many people know, the city of Petersburg is labeled as the unhealthiest city in the state of Virginia. And for that to happen, first of all, I think it starts with helping out our police, our fire, and our first responders so that they can do their jobs to service the citizens. As well, giving money to the parks and the things that have been mentioned to help out with our youth. But as well, with this partnership for Petersburg that the governor said, one of the things that was brought to my attention was the men's health clinic. I know that a lot of men, we have a stigma sometimes of not wanting to go to the doctor and get ourselves checked out regularly. But hopefully, with the money available in longer hours for the men's clinic on on Halifax Street, men will go and get checked out, get their colonoscopy, get their prostates checked, so that we can have longer lives to as well be servicing the citizens of Petersburg. And then, if the money is still there, because it's a one-time hit, help out with infrastructure.
Chioma Griffin, Ward 1. Unlike some of the other people on the panel, I am really excited about the future of Petersburg. I've been here a couple of years, and the first thing I heard was deficit. And in the last little bit, we've been hearing about the pharmaceutical companies, the partnership with the governor. We've heard about all these wonderful things that's going on. But if it was my choice, as far as how I would use ARPA, it would be for public safety. We have had some challenges of different things going on, and I would actually put money into the police department, fire department, and be able to also put into the youth of the community. So again, I'm really excited about the future of Petersburg and where we're going and where we're at right now. And I no longer hear that word deficit. So unlike my other panel members that have some good and bad things to say about Petersburg, I am happy where we are, and I'm definitely happy where we're going.
With the possibility of Petersburg being approved for a casino in the near future, how would a Petersburg casino positively or negatively affect the city?
Thank you for the question. Casino in Petersburg, we have the JLARC study, which will be coming out October 17th, and we are looking forward to see that the economic impact on the city of Petersburg having a casino should be marginally the same as the city of Richmond's. And that's looking at giving the city of Petersburg a 40% jump in our budget and revenue. And it gives the whole region an opportunity to take part in more jobs, to have high-level restaurants, an event center, to have concerts, and finally get a 4 or 5 star hotel in the city of Petersburg. And that will allow us to buy those new fire trucks, build a new school, build our new courts complex. We have all of those things that's pending, and if the Commonwealth of Virginia give us the opportunity to hold a referendum, I do believe that the citizens of Petersburg will support having that influx of revenue coming to the city to do the much needed improvements as necessary.
So I am definitely for the casino. I think that it will be very well. I agree with everything Sam said. The only thing is we're looking at 3 to 5 years from now before the money will be coming in. So we need to kind of look towards that and work on trying to fix some of the problems that we have. I don't think our fire department wants to wait 3 to 5 years for new vehicles that they need today. But on the other hand, I do think that it would do very well to be bringing in the money from the casino. And I look forward to those concerts and a 4 to 5 star hotel, and hopefully some super nice restaurants to go with it. Thank you.
I don't know what to add more to what the mayor has stated tonight, but I believe that this will be a transformational opportunity for the citizens of Petersburg, for the city of Petersburg as well, and to provide better opportunities for us to rebuild our schools, to provide better education, and high-paying jobs to our citizens.
Yes, I believe that the casino will positively affect the Petersburg area. First of all, about just the entertainment aspect, not just the casino, but as far as up to Richmond, without the Coliseum being there, like where do our concerts, where do our entertainment, our big Disney on Ice come to? Thankfully, right now, Virginia State has the MPC Multipurpose Center, but there needs to be another venue in here to entertain and hold entertainment for the community. As well, with the schools and the restaurants, if you've ever been to Las Vegas, or if you've ever been to the MGM Harbor in DC, it serves as a magnet for other things, outlet malls, restaurants, gaming, recreation. It doesn't have to all be about the actual casino and gaming. And I hope, hopefully, that if and when it does come, it will take more of the gaming out of the gas stations that are becoming very dangerous for people when they go in gas stations to actually gamble right now.
I'm really excited about the thought of a casino being in Petersburg, so I don't have to go to Rose's. So I'm really excited about that, and I do support the casino, and I am saying that I feel like it could positively impact us here because everything that everybody's already said, the schools, the infrastructure, all the different things that we need, but most of all, give us our lifeline that we deserve in Petersburg. We have citizens there that are very resilient, and I think they deserve to have some of the finer things in life that was taken away when Brown and Williamson left. And so I'm looking forward to this casino coming. I support it, and I support what it's going to bring, jobs, infrastructure, and all the positive things that we need and we deserve in Petersburg.
I am for the casino, but I want to hold my thoughts on it until after we receive the study. Just like Mr. Griffin said, we don't want another Rosie's to go to. So if the research shows that it's a more upscale and it can bring positive change to Petersburg, then I'm all for it. But bottom line is going to depend on what the constituents want. We just need to give them the opportunity to have their vote.
Putting your life on the line for the freedom of your country is deserving of the best health care, benefits, and housing available. That's what my initiative at the Freedom Support Center is all about. It's for all service members. Join me November 8th and vote W. Howard Myers for City Council.
We've been through tough times together, but we've come through to the other side. From the influx of the pharmaceutical industry to improvements in infrastructure, we are keeping the dream alive. Just keep believing in Petersburg. I do, and I need your support to help keep the dream moving forward. I'm Sam Parham, and I'm asking for your vote this November.
I'm Sam Parham, and I approve this message.
Hi, I'm Chioma Griffin, your candidate for Petersburg City Council Ward 1. Petersburg is moving, and this eyesore behind me is coming down. Elect me, and we'll keep things moving by reestablishing Petersburg and engaging you, my fellow citizens in our city. Remember, Chioma first on the ballot, next one up to serve. I'm Chioma Griffin, and I approve this message.
From tension between the chief and firefighters to citizen concerns about the reliability of key life-saving equipment, the Petersburg Fire Department is under a great deal of scrutiny right now. As a public servant, how can you help resolve this crucial public safety issue?
So one thing that we could be doing with City Council is we could then set it up as a collective bargaining unit. The governor has allowed that cities can make the decision of being able to do that. That would then force people to come together and talk. I also think that there needs to be several people coming together and sitting down and discussing what is going on. I think that there is a lot that has kind of been kept between different factions of it, And so because of that, I think that if people were to actually sit down and talk, that they would find that they really are pretty much on the same level, and that they are together much more than they think they are.
Speaking as a council member, I believe that we will be relying upon the city manager to handle that particular situation. But with respect to what has been drawn in the media, we don't see some of the issues in which has been expressed throughout the media. We do know that there are some concerns, but with respect to my position, I allow the city manager to do his job.
Yes. So I would like to also second that sentiment to have faith and trust in our city manager, Mr. March Altman, that was just hired, to come in and right the ship and change the narrative that the fire department is have a lot of holes or bad things going on. From as well as with good communication with Chief Tina Watkins, just giving her the morale and confidence that she can do her job, which I've talked to her many times. And she has a belief that, with empowering, again, coming back to the youth and having a volunteering and having the youth buy in, that we can change the narrative that it's all bad, because the fire department is still doing their job and helping out other localities. So if our equipment is so bad, then how do we go and help out fires in Dinwiddie as well as Prince George? So again, it's not that the tension is there, but you have to know the facts. And some of the outdated equipment is not as outdated as it seems when it was just replaced 3 or 4 years ago.
I think in retrospect to the fire department, we can just trust in Ms. Watkins that she is competent. She was hired for that job, and let her do her job, as well as allow her to partner with some other key leaders in the community to get some insight on different things that they've done. Some of the issues that we have did not come yesterday, and they won't leave tomorrow. So we need that time for her to be able to do her job. We need to respect what she brings to the table. Otherwise, she wouldn't have been hired. And allow her to voice her opinion to the city manager and her key leadership that she has within the fire department.
Just to reiterate, Ms. Watkins was hired for the job, and right now we understand that there's that strife because she's new coming into the field. But we need to allow her that opportunity to grow her team the way she sees fit, because I can only imagine they saw something in her to bring her on board. So right now we just need to support her and hear what her vision is for the fire department.
In Petersburg, we love our Petersburg Fire Department and for what they do here for the citizens of Petersburg. And I just can't commend our firemen enough. We have one of our firemen here today, Jeff Fleming, who works and does so much to help me help our fire department. When I got on council, he told me, "Sam, we got 88, 89 Seagrave engines on the street. This is unsafe." So I said, "Jeff, we're going to do what we need to do to get new engines in this department." So we got 3 2017 brand new KME trucks. Got a nice refurbished truck from Chesterfield. Got another squad truck from, I believe it's Blacksburg. But anyway, we got to continue to revamp and retool and give our men and women in Petersburg Fire all the tools that's necessary, including new turnout gear. We also renovated the Sycamore Street station in Walnut Hill, and we have 3 more fire stations to go, and look at building a new fire station to help secure our pharmaceutical cluster in the southern end of the city. So thank all of our firemen for your service, and we'll continue to stand with you.
As people across the country experience record inflation hitting their wallets, what can City Council do to help ease that burden for their constituents?
The city decided to lower its tax rate this current fiscal year. We also provide subsidized transportation, and we have increased our affordable housing and creating level playing fields for low to medium income individuals. I believe this will help us assist our individuals with respect to these high interest rates that are coming forward, but it is going to affect the majority of all of us in years to come.
Yes, I'd like to, again, second that. The real estate tax was just lowered. Thankfully, I got to vote on that in this term that I've been in to help out the citizens there, to help out with inflation. The rising cost of food. Hopefully, we can continue to move towards growing our own food. We have a lot of food pantries, community kitchens, and just in Ward 7, Mr. Tyrone Cherry has just purchased a 5-acre plot of land that he plans on making a community farm. so that we can teach our youth again about growing their own food and being self-sustainable. The different taste in just a tomato from the farm or right out of the ground versus going to your Food Lions or your Aldi's. Helping out with gas. Petersburg offers free transit on the bus. A lot of people just have to, utilize that system, utilize that service while it is free and for them. And most importantly, know my assignment and work with the Commissioner of Revenue, Ms. Brittany Flowers, who really is one of the controlling factors of helping to lower these rates.
There are 3 essential things we need for survival: clothes, food, and shelter. And Petersburg is in a place right now where we offer all of those services in one way or another. I think we're going to have to step up as citizens to do more community-oriented things, like I feed 7 days once a month. And I have partnered with some people in the city with Operation Pop-Up Dinner, so that's been helpful to some of our seniors and some of the indigent population. So I think the main thing we have to do is utilize the resources that we already have and promote those, like we're doing with the newsletter and the other things that we have going on. Because once people know the resources, and they'll be able to better utilize them. That's been one of the biggest issues that I see. People don't know all the resources. So engage in Petersburg, reestablish in Petersburg are 2 of my main goals when I become a city council member.
With inflation, it affects everybody. Unlike Michael and Johnny, I can't afford to go to Popeye's Chicken. Popeye's is right in my kitchen. So with any part of city council, the only thing you could do is you learn to adjust and redistribute funds to where they need to be allocated. If there's a program you want to enhance, if it's important, you support it. If it's one that could maybe curtail till you could find the finances, then you put it on hold. But just redistributing the funds and prioritizing where the funds go.
I would like to say that this is all about having a belief in the city of Petersburg. I want everybody to believe that we can lower taxes, that we can grow a world-class economy that's going to bring in more revenue for us to continue to drop our real estate tax and personal property tax. In the city of Petersburg, when we lost our industry, and many councils before, over 25 years ago, we became the 2nd highest personal property tax city in the Commonwealth. And that is putting the burden on the citizens. And working with my council, we were able to finally reduce that trend that's been going on for far too long. And with that, that means that we have to pursue every means of financial income, including grants, including going to the Commonwealth of Virginia, going to the governor, going to Senator Morrissey to get money for Poor Creek water infrastructure. So we want to pass that cost on to our citizens who have been grossly overtaxed for decades at a time. So we are changing that trend and continue to believe in Petersburg.
Well, there's not a whole lot more I can say than that. Definitely the city has lowered taxes, so that will be helpful. Also, if we could have more people volunteer at the food bank, I spend quite a bit of time there. But otherwise, yeah, I too think that it's very cool that it looks to be believing in Petersburg.
All right, that is the end of our questions for this evening, but we are getting ready to open up closing statements. Each candidate will have 2 minutes for their closing statements.
Being a resident of Petersburg for most of my life, I've always looked at government as something that wasn't for me until it was time. COVID came. I have a 3-year-old daughter that was born in 2019, and my time finally came around. I was tasked to take over for Mr. John Hart. And with that being said, I just came in with a vision. And the first vision is to bring my experience in education and my experience for working with people to really do the job and understand the assignment. I was happy to work with Mayor Parham, Howard Myers, Charlie Cuthbert, Tresca Wilson-Smith, Annette Smith-Lee, and Darren Hill, as they did a lot of the heavy lifting of bringing us out of financial difficulties over the past few years in our bond rating and having things in place. And it was up for me just to come in and figure out how could I continue this momentum going forward, because I really believe in Petersburg pride. I'm a resident, as I said, and as a product of the school system, and I really believe in the youth. So you heard a lot of the youth in my answers because I really feel like they're the future. I don't want it to be a continuous exodus of when you do graduate, you go to Northern Virginia, you go to Atlanta, you go to DC, you go to LA, and I feel like if our youth just had more Petersburg pride and understood that, they would keep their talents right here at home and continue to grow this. I have the capacity to listen and learn from others, effectively engage in civil discourse, and persevere through the tough times to experience brighter days. Just trying to bring programs like speech and debate to Petersburg Public Schools so that we can cut down on conflict resolution and have other outlets for our youth. I will work hard to make sure that the resident voices are heard and properly addressed, as I've been around canvassing neighborhoods, just trying to revitalize neighborhood associations again after COVID. A lot of them were disbanded, but we need to come back together so that that village still is there to raise our children. And like Allstate, you're in good hands with Westbrook. So I hope that I have the support of my voters and the constituents to continue serving on City Council.
I'd like to thank LNN for hosting the forum. Thank you, audience, for coming out tonight to hear the voices of all the people that's here on the panel. You're getting the facts from us, not from social media. So I hope that you'll be able to walk away with some good nuggets on who we are as people. And lastly, I'd like to thank my husband, because without him, this would not be possible. He's been very supportive, and he's the reason why I am in Petersburg. He is a CEO of one of the state hospitals, which is why we ended up in the area. He gave me a choice to stay in Chesterfield, Richmond, or Petersburg, and I chose Petersburg because I felt like this would be a village for me. Where I'm from, there's 31,000 people, and I said, okay, there's 31,000 people in Petersburg. This could be home, and I'm excited about moving here. But it is different. In Oak Ridge, Tennessee, where they built the atomic bomb, they glow there. In Petersburg, they have other things that they glow from. So I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to bring my education and experience. I serve currently on the Planning Commission, and that's been a great learning factor for me to be able to offer more community service here in the city of Petersburg. I have served as the vice president of NAACP, and I've also worked as a secretary with Petersburg Area Art League. So I have been connected in the community in addition to serving our youth once a month, 7 days, a hot dinner meal, and partnering with some of the citizens in Petersburg. So I know for a fact that if it is to be, it's up to me. I'm not coming to make a lot of changes. I'm coming to make improvement through reestablishing Petersburg and engaging the citizens to make our Ward 1 what we think it should be. Thank you.
Just like Ms. Griffin, I first of all want to thank my husband, because without him, I would not be sitting up here, because to run for any political office for a social worker is way out of my league. But when we talked about it, I didn't want to sit idly by and be one of those people who's complaining. The city isn't doing this, it's not doing that. We're moving forward. I just want to see it move a little bit with transparency, and just so that the constituents can have a voice. And I want to advocate for them. And coming into this arena, it's a learning curve. And those who brought me, or who are pushing for me to be here, they're willing to support me, and I want to stand up and be the voice for them. Because on my own, I'm going to learn, I'm going to make mistakes. But the main thing I want to do is make sure that through it all, I'm listening to you. I hear you. I know what you need, and let me go and advocate on your behalf. So I ask for your vote.
Again, I'd like to thank LNN, Craig Richards, for all you do, and I'm bringing the news to the people of Petersburg. And I'd like to also thank God, thank my family for standing by me when I was tapped back in 2015 to be sent to City Council, because we knew we had major issues in the city of Petersburg. Our financials was in the gutter. And working with my city council members and with the city administration, I may have lost some hair, but we have gained some money here in the city of Petersburg, and we're growing those coffers, and it's all about believing what the city of Petersburg can be. And for those of y'all who don't know, there was no Richmond without the city of Petersburg. There was no Chesterfield without the city of Petersburg. And all I'm asking you is, if you believe in Petersburg and where we're going, I'm asking you to stay the course and vote Sam Parham for City Council in Ward 3. And the city of Petersburg is on the rise, and no more we will be the doormat of the region. No more we will be forgotten about in the Commonwealth of Virginia we're taking our place back amongst the greats, and we're going to lead this region. And if you believe, I want you to vote for me. If you believe it's time to go back to the mispractices of the past, it's just not that time. So again, it's all about staying the course, staying aggressive. We have the ear of the governor, we have the ear of the senator, we have the ear of the House of Delegates. And they know the city of Petersburg is on the rise, and we will be making the necessary steps. In this next term, you're going to see a transformational Petersburg, because the Petersburg of the past is no more. Again, thank you, Craig, and we'll continue to push Petersburg forward.
My name is Michelle Merles, and I'm running in Ward 5 in Petersburg. I moved here to Virginia, to Petersburg from Alaska about 4 years ago, and I plan on changing a lot of things the way Petersburg is run when I get on city council. For one thing, I definitely believe, as several other people have mentioned in other areas, that transparency is very important. There are a lot of things that our city and our citizens do not know what is going on, and I believe that that is something that needs to be addressed. I also want to work on the violence in the city and not just shrug my shoulders when somebody brings these things to the attention of city council. I also want to bring civic pride back to Petersburg. I don't disagree with Sam that Petersburg is on the rise, and I think that it is very important that we continue that. However, I do think that there are a lot of ways that things could be changed to make it even better. I also want it known that I actually care about the citizens of Petersburg and what is going on here. My goal is to have people come and speak at city council meetings and know that they are being heard. I really want to bring real change to the city of Petersburg, and I absolutely think that it is the coolest city in the nation. Forget just the Commonwealth or the Tri-Cities.
Thank you, and thank you all for having me here tonight. Appreciate all of you all out here in the audience. I moved to Petersburg 20 years ago from Richmond. I fell in love with pretty much everybody in the neighborhood. I mean, it was really like a welcome wagon. Coming to Petersburg, I bought a house here, put my roots here, started on many organizations, Arts Council, Friday for the Arts is what we created downtown and started to build downtown and the momentum of downtown during that time, in HPF and many organizations before I got on the city council. But for me, it's to be a conduit for applicable service to my constituency, as well as improve the quality of life for all of them. Back in the time in 2015, as Mayor Parham has mentioned, we were facing receivership. And as mayor, him as my vice mayor, and the city council, we fought very hard to pull ourselves out of that situation, and we have been moving forward ever since. I'm very proud of it. But in essence, it's really growing the economic development and bringing more businesses into the city to provide good paying jobs, workforce training, working with area colleges, improve housing options while reducing blight, working with schools to broaden opportunities for better education and prepare students for life, reducing crime and keep Petersburg safe, continuing work with Commonwealth and the governor, and additional resources, improve access to health care, and reducing poverty by providing programming with the empowerment through fiscal empowerment through People's Advantage Federal Credit Union, which is located in Ward 5 in Artist Space, which the mayor and I are very proud to have brought to the city of Petersburg to allow our citizens to be educated.
Thank you to all of the candidates who came out tonight and took the time out of their very busy schedules. Campaigning is hard. Campaigning takes a lot of time and energy and focus, and if you're doing it while you're doing another job or raising a family, it's even harder. So thank you all for being here.